Hi, my name is Valentina Martilotti, and I'm going to be talking about how effective are the past lives regressions and transgenerational work, and how, in a way, they are all connected to giving us perspective of one aspect, which is the emotion that I'm feeling in this incarnation, this right here, right now. So I'm going to use this a bit of uh, as an art memoir. So is first concept that I would like to share is that then the idea of time in us, in this case in Valentina, in 2024, 4th of October 2024, it's given by the experience that I had in my life. Plus, this is DNA strand, all the memories of my ancestors who have lived in the same lineage before me. Yeah. I only understand time because of the physical experience that I'm having and because of the memories that my cells hold in regards to past experiences of my ancestors. When we talk about the soul, yeah, and we connect with the soul had an experience in 12,000 years ago, Atlantean times, 200 years before Christ. There is no understanding of what exactly that means, just that the emotion that has been recorded in that experience and that through the soul for resonance, I am feeling now. Yeah. So I want to share a very particular example just to give a context of how past lives regressions and transgenerational or ancestral healing can actually confuse us in regards to the experience that we have it. I have been studying, but not like studying outside my own consciousness, lots about biodecoding, which is also called this like spiritual healing of illnesses, transgenerational. And one of the things I'm seeing, or people who have access to their past lives or Akashic records, that they get to have an understanding of what's happening, but somehow then there is like a recall of the emotion that they were trying to heal. Yeah. So this is us. Yeah. So you see there is no doubt because we are actually generating the past experience of our future generations, but we are actually living now. So then everything is being recorded in our own incarnational experience. And our own incarnation experience, as I said, it is a combination of the soul's database information and the lineage. Something that is very important to understand. The soul's database, whatever we had in our soul that we want to try to bring a new experience or resolution, needs a lineage who had in the material form a similar unresolved experience for us to replicate it in the matter and being able to live it. Yeah. So whatever is in the soul that is not in the lineage as an experience can't be replicated. Yeah. That is very important to understand. That's why it's so important to start working with both. However, I am the center. I am the intersection point of the soul's cloud database. Yeah. And the lineage. So imagine this is the information of your picture. You have taken a picture, yeah, where you were on holidays, and now you want to see the picture. If you don't have an interface that will decode the information of the picture for you to see it, you will just see numbers and codes, and maybe you had experienced that with your computer. You will just see lots of codes and numbers, but you won't be able to actually see the image that those codes and numbers mean. Who provides the information to decode that those symbols, those codes, is the lineage. So in your lineage, there is no decoder for that particular file. You won't be able to see it. So everything that you experience in this incarnation as a trauma, as a thought that you're trying to resolve, as an emotion that you can't get away from, it is because this lineage has the memory of how to decode that emotion. Yeah, that's very important. Now, when we just try, and let's go to our incarnation. This is just an example of all our incarnations. Let's say this is us, yeah, born in 1960. In my case, I was born in 1976. But my soul is having multiple incarnations. The concept of past lives is actually already a program, because as I just explained, time, it's only perceived by the memories of ourselves. Yeah. So by getting access, voluntarily going and seeking access of a past life, let's say this is 200 AC, I will only be able to access the information by resonance, not because it's registered in my lineage, but by resonance of an emotion that I'm experiencing here and a similar emotion that I experienced there. What is generating confusion with past life regressions or access to Akashic records? That we are using the resonance in order to access, but the information that we are retrieving is the result of that emotion, how that emotion was resolved in that incarnation. And now I'm going to give you an actual example of someone that I'm working with at the moment, who in this incarnation, yeah, in this lineage, she's experienced constant thoughts of suicidal, but very specific suicidal. It's literally just cutting her veins. Yeah, it's not by jumping under the bus or jumping from a bridge or just intoxicating with her with pills. Is actually cutting. So I've been working with her to understand what is the emotion that is causing her that trauma, yeah, that response, that thought. And I've been working on the lineage because of means that someone else, let's say there was an ancestor 200 years ago here, had the same emotion and resolved that emotion by committing suicide, cutting. And this is when the confusion comes. When someone just accesses transgenerational on the same way, another life, there is this belief, and this is what is confusing, and this is part of the confusion of the New Age, that because my ancestor killed his life, yeah, by cutting his vein, I am now just replicating his action. Yeah. But with that logic, I'll ask, why not your brother, your mother, your children are having the same thought? If it was just because someone did it and it's recorded, and now it's recorded, it means that everyone should be then acting exactly the same way. And that's not the case. How we activate the memory of the biology, again, because of resonance. Because I am having the same thoughts, the same emotions, and my biology is telling me, the biology doesn't care about moral, about consciousness expansion. The biology just care about continue going through many incarnations. Yeah. The more souls that come and choose that biology, the more successful that biology, that lineage is. Yeah, it doesn't care whether you lived 2 days, 4 days, 9 days, 200 years. Yeah, it's just collecting experiences and using that experience for pass it on to forward to down generations. So back into the ancestor. If I had an ancestor who started questioning, for example, about the meaning of life, and he got so trapped into thoughts that activated paranoia or whatever, and he couldn't resolve it and decided to take his life, for the biology, the resolution of that question, what is the meaning of life, is ending the life itself. Back into us. If we start asking ourselves the same question, the biology will come and tell you, yeah, I got information about that. The biologists are Google. Yeah, Google, tell me, what is the meaning of life? And the biological Google will tell you, none. And what your ancestor did was kill the life, because they thought that was the best way to kill the question. Yeah, we are understanding now how the biology functions, the logic of the biology. So that's one point. Now, we haven't actually, so by going to the ancestor and say, ancestor, I don't want your heritage, ancestor, I don't care about you, I don't want your trauma, just I'm cutting, I'm canceling, you're actually not resolving your own dilemma, your own trauma, your own questioning. You're just rejecting the memories of the biology about something that you're experiencing now. We will talk about healing in a moment, but I want just to explain how some therapies are really confusing us in how to face with our own trauma, our own dilemma. This is transgenerational. Now let's go to past lives. First, erroneous concept. There are no past lives. All lives are happening at the same time. And I'll explain later the importance to get rid of the program of past lives. Because similar as we done to our ancestors, if I go to the past life and I say, I don't want to know about you, I don't want about your experience, yeah, I am literally not bringing consciousness or expansion to my soul. I'm just rejecting a part of me, who is this other life. So similar thing. And now back into the case that has triggered me sharing this video. This woman, in the desperation of these very intrusive thoughts, goes and have a session with to a past life regression. And in that past life regression comes that she, in another life, has committed suicide by cutting her veins. And she goes, now I know. Yeah, that's why I feel like that, because that's what I've done in another life. Has resolved her problem? Is she feeling better? Has she woke up the following day without those thoughts? No. No. And why not? Because similar to the lineage, in here, the resonance, why this therapist was able to access this information is because there was a resonance in the magnetic field. And what is the magnetic field? How the magnetic field is decoded in the biology, emotions. This is what we call emotions. So the emotion that she's having here have allowed this therapist, which it could something that she could have done herself, accessing another life that is having the same emotion. Yeah. And guess what? In that life, the resolution of that emotion was committing suicide. So committing suicide is not actually committing suicide in this life, is not the reason why you're feeling committing suicide in this one. It is a memory in the database of your soul of how you have resolved the same emotion. So now back in here, having rejected and canceled your ancestors' experience, having understood about what has happened to you on another life, on a past life, it's just information that is telling you how the same question, the same trauma, the same emotion has been resolved in that way. And because there is resonance in what you've done here and what your ancestors, that every time you connect to that emotion, we haven't even talked about the emotion yet, but with that sensation, the thought straight away can kill yourself, and kill yourself in this very specific way. Neither this information nor this information has actually explained to this person what was the key to access this information. And remember, the key is the emotion, is the resonance. This is what makes us move into the past to the future. It is the resonance. It is what I'm feeling in this moment, which is the right here, right now, that by observing the feeling of the emotion of what my body feels right here, right now, allows me then to go up in or back, yeah, in the lineage, or to go cross the timelines to access another life. The question this woman is experiencing is, what is the meaning of life? Yeah, and it's such a immense question to her psyche that in the fear of not being able to answer and find a satisfactory answer, she's just allowing the subconscious, which is a mixed, at the moment now here, back in here, she is this intersection point between the biology and the soul, allowing then the generic answer that has been recorded in the biology that she's inhabiting, it is committing suicide. It's saying there is no answer other than committing suicide. And this is when the healing comes in place. And this is when back into the inner child, back to the early memories of our incarnation, to understand what started happening in ourselves when we started losing the innocence in which we are born in this physical body, and we start getting programmed, yes, and start getting to understand that the mind knows how to deal with the external, has all the memories, all the programs necessary for the survival, that we start disconnecting from that innocence, and we start allowing ourselves to be in the program of the survival. And it's through that program, when we start then, we passed many layers, and we ask ourselves, and what is the meaning of life? I experience joy, I experience sadness, I experience abundance, I experience scarcity, I experience true love, I experience empty love. And the answer can only come from ourselves. So we can then, as this ancestor has recorded an answer to the question, I am also recording a new answer to the question, but from a different perspective, from a center perspective, from a conscious perspective. Yeah. This is, in a way, how then holistic healing will take us to understand, because once I brought through my own experience a new level of understanding, a new awareness, a new answer to the question, I can go back to my ancestor and say, let me tell you how I did it. and let me help you release yourself from where you're trapped. And the same way, I will go to my other incarnations, my simultaneous incarnations, and share. For those who have done the I Am path, the Yo Soy path with Matias De Stefano, there is one day that Matias said, talk to your fractals. Yeah, talk to your other incarnations and let them know that you're going to start healing. Because you will be able to then to start passing that information across alongside the soul and across all your incarnations. Yeah, and this is how then, for whoever is in the process of enlightenment and just maybe even moving away from this planet, to bring awareness. So is having that information, it is useful, but it's not healing. It's actually generating more confusion. So now, how we go about healing, a holistic healing. When I'm facing a particular trauma, yeah, I'm facing a memory from the past, I'm facing that I'm stuck in the same thoughts, that my body has activated an illness, I'll use that as a starting point of going over layers and layers and layers of healing. I will always start with the inner child, because the inner child will be when I will ask my body, when was the first time my body felt that emotion? Yeah, then they will have multiple experiences, but there will always be a first time. And this is when I unlock myself. I unlock my biology from that stuck energy in my body. Then I will go into my ancestors and ask my ancestors, why? What was that happened that you recorded this resolution to this conflict? And I start working the transgeneration, I start working the family tree, start working the ancestral memories. And the same way to my other fractals. We are in resonance because we both experiencing the same dilemma, the same trauma, the same question, the same pain, the same emotion. But this is how I fix it. And I share it with you. And also I release that blockage at emotional, at soul level, so there are no other fractals that might end up looping into the same spiral, downward spirals of emotions. So this is really how we start unhooking, I like to say, just unhooking ourselves from this very low vibration emotions that is keeping our soul trapped, yeah, in patterns of repetition. So I am not just trying to solve, I'm not just here because the pattern of repetition happens in this life. I'm not just repeating what happened to me before, and just by resonance can see what happened to me before. And in the same way, I can access all other lives and ask all those other lives of how you resolved it differently. Unfortunately, because of gravity, because how this planet, this simulator is configured, it will always push us to the more dense vibrations, not to the lighter, to the more subtle. So always when we allow the subconscious to take over and try to solve, it will always go to the denser, the heavier experiences, not to the lighter experiences. Because otherwise, we will face the question of what is life, and we might just get enlightenment, because we go, life is what I'm just allowing myself to feel now and observe, and don't get mixed up in that emotion, which it might be for some people. Yeah, it might be for some people, but it's also because there is already a resonance on another experience who have resolved that question that way. So let's be the ones that are resolving. So then for our other fractals, when they ask their question, they don't go downward spiral, but they go up, an expansion. Yeah. So this is how we can tackle a trauma and issue fractal. But then the same way, this is how we can tackle the activation of our gifts. Yeah. As I said, there are 3 layers. It is the incarnational, which will be very much connected to how we been educated, i.e. programmed. Yeah. All the belief systems that they'd been programmed in this brain the first 7 years of our life. The memories of our ancestral and the soul's memories. When it comes to all 3, there will also be contracts. Yeah, contracts that we have accepted. Yeah, like for example, going to the first communion, we've been baptized. Okay, we were forced to be baptized, but in a way, first communion, we accept involuntarily. Yeah, or confirmation that, yeah, I believe in that God. I believe in whatever that God is telling me to do. So when we start taking our gifts, we can work out what are the belief systems from these incarnations, or what are the contracts or experiences on our lineage that have affected, the disactivation of that gift, or at soul level again. What is that might have done in another soul that I maybe have misused those gifts, that somehow I blocked myself not to repeat the pattern. But when we get the information and we start applying healing to all those 3 aspects, incarnational, which is belief systems, or contracts or vows that we've done, transgenerational, lineage, they're what we receive from our ancestors, and soul, we can also start unlocking those gifts. Yeah, that's something actually I'm working on at the moment, putting together it's something I've been doing on one-to-one, but I would like to start putting a program to share. So this is what I wanted to share. Hopefully it has given you some more clarity about why maybe you have access information on past life, on Akashic records, but somehow you're still not fully healed or got clarity on certain aspects of yourself. If you want to find out more about how I work, I'll leave you my website, but also then you can contact me on WhatsApp. I've been going through a beautiful journey with ups and downs, remembering myself, reestablishing connection first to my soul. Now I'm going to the path of expanding to the consciousness of my spirit, so then I can decide what I want to do next. Do I want to continue being on Earth? Do I want to go and experience in another universe? Who knows? But thank you so much for listening. Blessings. Bye-bye.